Welcome to the John 3:16 Stories of Hope podcast, where we talk to people who have overcome addiction and alcoholism at John 3:16 Ministries. I'm your host, Lisa Fischer. Now let's hear another inspiring story from a resident or graduate of John 3:16 Ministries. All right, we love having one of the sisters here from the John 3:16 women's side of the ministry there. We think of a lot of the men, but a lot of women, their lives have changed, including, I bet, yours right there. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Mary Niermann. I'm from Salem, Arkansas.
Now, remind me where Salem is.
It's about an hour and a half from here. I'm not really good with the directions.
Is it Northwest
but,
Arkansas? Is it more
yes,
Northwest
ma'am.
Arkansas? Okay. Now,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
kind of God's country up there, right? It's
It
beautiful.
is. It's right on the Missouri line.
Oh, right. I know exactly where it is.
Mhm.
Right. You're almost on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you split almost the difference between
Yeah. Yes,
Arkansas
ma'am.
and Missouri.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know a thing about you, and neither do the listeners, so tell me Mary's story and why she's sitting here in front of me on a podcast.
Well, I grew up pretty humble. I grew up well in the sense that I had a good, I come from good stock, for lack of a better term. Was raised in church. My mom worked. My grandparents owned a dairy farm. I mean, it was kind of like a picture book life growing up. Always went to church. I used to like tell people I was 3 days old the first time I went to church, and then I kind of got off kilter a little bit. So, but it was pretty idyllic, and I flawed myself. It was just what happened to me was I got in my own way, and I thought I could do things the way I wanted to do them, and that just wasn't right. But in all, to the I started out with pills when I was about 18. That I went at an exceedingly fast rate to heroin, and then I started taking methadone to get off the heroin, and the methadone was the worst thing I have ever touched. Trying to get off, I ended up liking the methadone more than I liked the heroin, and so that just became its own thing. And then I finally did kick that habit after the horrible withdrawals and all that. I finally kicked that, and I was clean for about a year, and then I met methamphetamine, and I just realized there wasn't no physical withdrawals from that. And after going through the heroin and the methadone withdrawals, that didn't sound like a bad idea to me at the time. And so I got hooked on that. I had my oldest two daughters. I ended up losing them because at that time I just was in no place to want to lay my addiction down, for as bad as that sounds. And then I used that as a reason to use, that I didn't have my kids. I ended up using it as a reason to use. Then after that, I got clean from that for a good 3 years. I actually went to another faith-based ministry not too far from here. And the day I got out of there, I drank. I never drank alcohol. But from that moment on, I never quit drinking alcohol. So out of all those drugs that I'd done, alcohol was what really took me down through there.
Alcohol was your biggest demon of
Yes,
all
ma'am.
the things you mentioned.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's talk about it. So at 18 years old, who gave you pills? Did you have an injury and you started taking them?
I had a cyst on one of my ovaries and had a surgery, and
Right.
kind of, yeah.
Painkiller. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And was it hydrocodone or
Yeah,
like a
started
Tylenol
out
3 or
that.
something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And that's why, those are given lawfully within medical facilities because people actually use them to kill the pain. Not everyone gets hooked. So the slippery slope for you, Mary, was you were here, and I'm pointing my finger, and you had you went down. How
Oh, yeah.
quickly do you I want people to hear how quickly that can happen to somebody
Oh,
who's just a teenager in northern Arkansas who had a cyst on her ovary.
real fast. Like, I really didn't know what addiction was, but I knew that I didn't like it when I didn't have them. And then it started with the physical, it started getting to where I didn't want to and then couldn't do anything without them. And so
But
it ever
walk me
since.
through that. So is that where you have the DTs, you've got the
Oh,
shakes,
yeah. Yeah.
vomiting, all that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Um yeah. It's probably thinking back with the those pills, and then like I said, I got on the heroin for a minute, and then the methadone. Now, I do remember thinking when I was coming off that methadone, I remember thinking, man, if I could just go back to the Oxycontin withdrawals, you know what I mean? Like
Wow.
the major difference in trying to come off that methadone was, oh wow, it was it was almost like a dreamlike state, coming off that physically, and it took me down through there real well. Um, it's I don't recommend methadone clinics or anything that sounds easy like that.
Mary,
It's
we
not.
need to tell people our government supplies the methadone,
They do.
right?
Mm-hmm.
For
Yes,
heroin
ma'am.
addicts. They think they're doing you a favor.
Mm-hmm. I thought they were doing me a favor too.
And
You
now,
know,
and you were in worse shape
and
taking what they gave you than what you got off the streets.
I was.
Did it give you the same hit? Is that why people take it?
To me, and this is again, this is just me. The methadone was better than the heroin to me.
You mean you enjoyed it more?
Yes.
So it did give you a hit. So
Oh yeah.
can you drive under the influence of methadone?
Oh, I done well. Well,
Not did you? I know you did, but is
no.
it lawful?
Oh no. I mean,
Wow.
there's no way it could be. I'll give you a real quick story though. So, my daughter's dad, he didn't do drugs or anything like that. My oldest daughter's dad. So he would see me burn holes in the comforter, and he would get so mad, and he didn't know, he would just get mad. And so what I started doing was I would go and buy all these reversible comforters that were on sale, and I would hide them. That way when I burn a hole in it, he wouldn't know. You know what
Okay,
I'm
now
saying?
I'm ignorant. Are you burning a hole because
With my
methadone you
cigarette,
smoke?
because you just nod out. Yeah.
So it's a smokable I don't know
Oh no, I
anything
wasn't smoking the methadone. No man, I was smoking my cigarette.
Oh, just smoking cigarettes you burn the holes
Yeah.
because you were high you were impaired from the methadone. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
And through all that should have been enough, but like I said, that I went through the meth, and then my biggest my biggest demon was the alcohol, definitely.
Wow.
And so for 6 whole years, I did nothing
But
but
drink.
drink. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we started the journey at 18. How old are you now?
I am 38.
Okay, so 20 years of addiction.
Yes.
That's hard on your body.
It is. Very.
So let's talk about that. When did you we're recording this
Yes, ma'am.
almost July 1st. I want people to understand. When
Mm-hmm.
did you get to John 3:16?
I got here on February 8th, but I had to go to detox. So I got back.
From the alcohol.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I started my journey here it would have been the 12th of February.
All right. Detox then, it's pretty rough. Is it detox worse from alcohol than it is from heroin and methadone?
For me, it wasn't.
Well, you were medically detoxed.
Exactly.
So that's different.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was all bad, and so I just, if I could tell anybody anything, it would just be, just don't. I thought that since alcohol was illegal, that it would be okay for me, and it wasn't okay. It was the worst thing I'd ever touched
Well,
for me.
gambling's legal. There's now, some marijuana. Not we don't have obviously. We have medicinal, medical marijuana.
Right,
There are a lot of things that are legal. I mean, there's a verse that says, "All things are lawful for me, but I won't be mastered by anything." All things.
right.
I mean, it might be lawful, but it doesn't
Mm,
mean it's
exactly,
best for me. So,
exactly.
but you're saying of all the substances, I guess because you're saying because since alcohol is a celebratory drink,
It
we
is.
raise a glass of wine. We have a cocktail after work. It is as dangerous to you, especially an addict, than anything else you've taken.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
That's crazy. 18, you started this. You that was heroin, that was methadone. You went to the other facility or another faith-based facility.
Mhm.
Who introduced you then? Not the person's name, but what kind of friend introduced you to alcohol on your first day out? Or did you just
Oh,
think, I'm just
I
going to
got.
try this?
Yeah, that was all me. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I never had no want for alcohol or anything like that, so I just thought, you know,
Well, what did you start with? Because alcohol doesn't taste good.
what I start with. I
Yeah,
started with just some little canned drinks, which quickly escalated to a gallon of vodka a day.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the reason I'm going over this itinerary of what happened to you, I want people to hear how dangerous it is that one of those canned drinks, White Claws or something, that's part of the slippery slope we're talking
it
about. I mean,
it is,
it's insidious, meaning it starts slow, and all of a sudden you wake up and
and
you've
yeah,
lost your
yeah,
family.
yep. That is very true. And it don't even have to be slow. It can be real fast. But
Yeah,
and thank God for this place because see that's where all that ended. That's where none of that was me anymore. I got here, and I this place literally saved my life. Jesus saved my life, but
right.
without this place, and John 3:16 has done so much for me that I don't think about that. I don't think about the methadone anymore. I don't think about the
Good.
drinking no more. It does not have no kind of stronghold over me no more. But it did take a lot to get me here. All the things that I have lost, yeah. But my God is a God of restoration, and so that's what's happening in my life right now by coming to this program and getting to really know God, not what I thought I knew about Him. Um, Gaining a real relationship with nothing else to inhibit me.
Well,
You
you
know,
said you've known Jesus. You were 3 days old, probably going to church.
hmm
When did you really get to know him as Savior and friend and rescuer?
uh, when I made the choice by myself to come here, when it wasn't court ordered, it wasn't anything, and just a couple weeks in, I wasn't trying to run like I had my whole life from everything, and so I just realized that all of it I had to give to him. I had to give to him, and I didn't have to carry it by myself anymore. And but I to do that, I had to lay it all down, you know, and I could.
Well,
I,
who
I'm
told you
sorry.
about John 3:16? Like, why did you
Um,
make the phone call there?
I made the phone call because my friends that celebrate recovery where I'm from, they could see that I would go to celebrate recovery drunk. Otherwise, I wouldn't go. And I was just sitting there one day drinking, and I had all the alcohol I needed for the day and all that, and just something come over me like I do not want to do this no more. And when you idolize something like I did alcohol, and it's no fun for you no more, then you kind of panic, and that's what happened. I panicked, and just
Huh?
something come over me, and I was like, there's got to be a different way of life, you know. It's gotta be something different. And I
Tell
know I knew what it was, but I had to chase it, I had to come back to him. I always knew it was Jesus. I just had to have a new platform, and I just needed to be, you know, I just structure is something that, I have to have, and I found that here. I found so many good things here, you know?
Well, tell me about your kids. How old are they?
18, 17, and 9. They're all girls.
All girls. And so
Mhm.
somebody else is raising them right now, which is a very difficult thing for a mother.
Yeah. Well, yes, my 9-year-old lives with my stepmom, and then my oldest girls, they live with their dad.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And people you can trust,
Oh,
you
yes.
know.
Yeah.
Okay. And have they seen you there? Have they come to see you?
Yes. My youngest one comes almost every Sunday with my mom. I have a really good
Good.
mom and dad.
Good. Well,
Mm.
every podcast, if you don't mind sharing the names of them so we can pray for them. What are their names?
Ever, her name Everr, Haven, Haven, and Wilder, Wylder.
Okay. People put that on your prayer list. If God puts Mary and her children on your heart, to please pray for them, because it's a transition for everybody.
It is.
It's part of their journey, part of their story,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
God knew that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
just want to encourage you that you've done the right thing by coming there, but I know that must have been very difficult.
It was difficult to a point. I knew that's how I knew what I was ready was when was not difficult to come here.
Really? So
It
you
was not
really think
difficult for me.
that day you came, because you come in on a Sunday typically, right?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And then because a medical detox was an option, you went away, then you
And
came
I
back.
came back on a Thursday. Yes.
Came back on a Thursday.
Hmm.
And tell me the love that those women gave you when you
Oh,
came on the property.
oh, well, that's what they do. They they love here. All the way from the top, and I'm talking about Mr. Brian and Miss Lisa, all the way to our instructors and residents that have been there longer than some of the other ones. All you get here is love, which is an odd concept for most addicts. Because
Mm,
what I'm saying is sometimes you're like, well, is this real love? You know what I mean? Because you don't have that when you're wreaking havoc on your own life. You know, the people that do try to love you, that's not your priority.
you
And
can't believe anyone would love you like that.
right, so when you come to some place like this and you have nothing to inhibit you, like drug or alcohol, you see that that people do have genuine love for you don't have to give anything to be loved here.
Mm.
And that's one of the things that is very poignant to me, that you don't, even when I come, I'm just a mess. I remember when I come in on that Sunday, I don't even know where I got the leggings I had on that I was wearing. You understand me? I had no idea, but I do know that these women loved me, and they loved me from the moment I walked into me sitting in this chair right now. They love me, and the whole ministry is that way. The whole ministry is love,
And
and
no
that
judgment from them.
no, no,
Because you know what? They've walked the same path.
that's right, and they're I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure that God places you where He wants.
Mm-hmm.
When you take your hands out of things and let Him lead, then this wasn't a long drawn out process for me. Like, oh, I might go to rehab. No, this was literally like a 10-second click in my head, and I called somebody and said, I got to go.
I'm so
I
glad.
got to go now, not before I might
Before I
not want
change
to
my
go.
mind.
But
Yeah.
that and I knew that this was where I was supposed to be, because that thought never crossed my mind. I kept waiting on
Mm.
it. I kept waiting to back out, and I just never did, and won't. And um, it's just a gift. This whole place is a gift. To be able to be one of the women here is a true gift to me.
Mary, we always often I ask people to tell listeners, because God put this podcast in the ears, in the hands, but in the ears of someone who needed to hear this message today.
Mm-hmm.
That someone listening, it wasn't a coincidence. It was that God appointed for you. I'm telling the listener that you had to hear Mary's story today. Tell them, especially women in the deep recesses of alcoholism or methadone or heroin addiction, why they need to pick up the phone and make an appointment to come see them and come live for free.
That's right.
And with freedom at John 3:16.
Yes.
Why should they do it?
If you are out there and you're struggling with anything, I would tell you the reason you need to call John 3:16 is because words are important. So because for me, this is the place where, like we just talked about, love. You know, to a lot of people here, it's, they're court ordered and stuff, but I live with a lot of women that are court ordered that wouldn't leave if they could.
Huh. Isn't
And
that
I know
sweet?
this. So, they might come in here as a court order.
Yeah, their arms twisted, maybe.
But they found Jesus here, and they're here because they wouldn't leave if they could. They wouldn't leave if they were like me and just here on their own. And I'm gonna tell you, if I could stay here forever, I would. And that if you knew me from the outside, I didn't stay any place long because I didn't want to. Because then the feelings and all that things happen, and I just wasn't for that. But when God really gets in your heart, and there's no way you could come through these doors and not run into Him. No way. And so if you really want a better way of life, and you really want everything you've been running after your whole life, this is absolutely the place to get it. There ain't no way you can't not get it. There's no way. Yeah, so you like my vernacular, but yes, just pick up the phone and call it. And yes, you're right, it's free. Everything here is free, which is, our living accommodations and everything. You just have to see it to believe it.
Thank you for joining us for the John 3:16 Stories of Hope podcast, highlighting the community at John 3:16 Ministries in Charlotte, Arkansas. Be sure to share the episode. If you need more information, hop on their website, john316thecure.com, or find them on social media.